budget execution. The districts just have to be given their funds across the board, opposition, government. This nefarious practice of selective warranting has to stop. We can't play party politics, and it's about people. So, like in the Highlands, if they're going to be doing any sort of planting, they have to plant tapioca. They have to do that. And other drought-resistant crops that NARI has introduced. And now everybody's focused on getting water supply and the reticulation right. And they're blessed because the water source is from underground springs. There's an aquifer. So in a lot of the places, the water source is derived from an aquifer underground. So it continues to run even during a very, very dry season. So they're blessed in that regard. And these are things that only the local member who's been visiting the electorate will know and understand. So coming back to Sapuka's recommendation that coordination mechanism between national government, provincial government, and district through an emergency response body has to be there. So we really call on the government to be serious about. The Prime Minister said it on the floor of Parliament. Now he's got to take action. And you have to fund it. It has to be working. It has to be responsive, and it has to be effective. Then we'll be in a real strong position to mitigate the effects. For example, with the increased drought, there'll be more issues of dehydration affecting our people. Dysentery, diarrhea, just dehydration. So when they go into the hospitals, there has to be supplies there, adequate supplies to help them, rehydrate, to get sufficient medication to help them with diarrhea, with dysentery, and whatever other issues that arise from a lack of water supply. And this requires money. So the issues are serious, and it boils back down to how the government has effectively managed the budget. So we're calling on the Prime Minister to take a look at budget execution and then overall execution rates up to June 2026, which is halfway in the fiscal year, and then confirm whether we've hit 50% of budget execution, or are we still dwindling at 3%, 10%, 5%? What is it? Then it's about ministers really waking up. Like Sapuka said, everybody's in a slumber. We can't be in a slumber. The country's got a lot of real issues that are currently affecting it. So this is our call to the government to really take El Niño seriously, to look at the water issues that are affecting the country, the city. The opposition, through with Sapuka's foresight, called out the issue affecting the water pipes from Sogeri coming down. And then we had the Minister for State Enterprise, the Honourable William Duma, say that the opposition was, fear-mongering and just trying to, create a stir among city residents. Well, now the ABC's confirmed it. The New Zealand media's confirmed it. So how was the opposition fear-mongering? Someone's been eating all the money for operational maintenance. So this is why we can't allow corruption to continue. And we expect the Prime Minister to take a hard stance, and he can begin by sacking the Minister for Commerce and Industry and allowing an independent investigation involving the police and the Auditor General to come in and find out how $1 billion kina of the people's money was misappropriated. This is how serious it is. That's how much they use for the fuel subsidy program, which is going to run out anytime soon. So how much is going to be used for El Niño? And where's the funding for the national general elections? 10 months' time. It's not time to sleep. But everybody's running around like everything's all right. This is not only a country belonging to Abau district and Trave district, and God bless us. It's a country that belongs to all Papua New Guineans. So everybody should take this very seriously. You have to start talking about it. And we expect the government of all people, the Prime Minister, to take this matter as one of national importance and then just help prevent a crisis. And that crisis is already here, and it's called El Nino. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Is there any other questions? Yes?
In regards to the list of the payments made, could you tell us how much was already used up in the Commission Ministry Department for the SME funding? Well, you said almost $1 billion has been allocated for the...
It's all been spent.
Yeah.
So that's why we're calling for the Auditor General to go in there with a fine-tooth comb and then check every single payment, who's received it. IPA has to be right there to confirm who owns this company. The extract has to show who are the directors, how are they related, where are they from, what have they been doing.
So the 20 million was, the 1 billion was for a specific number of years or for...
Yeah, that's 200 million per annum. Yeah, in the budget cycle for SME. Yeah.
We also have some, those SME specific matters and those people back in the village. The SME corporation has been carrying out some SME training certified. I gave them the certificates for SME training and all that. So, it's quite difficult for them also to access funds through the bank. So when we see that such money has been spent recklessly, what's your comment on that?
So did you want to say something about that?
No, this is a serious issue of accountability and appropriation. This is misapplication and misappropriation. These are serious criminal allegations. When there is misappropriation and misapplication, then the minister responsible or the secretary responsible or the officer responsible under the laws, they immediately terminate it without pay, and then they go for investigation. Other criminal activities which don't involve money, you get suspended with pay. But this one, because of the seriousness, you get suspended without pay. And so the seriousness has to be accepted. Prime Minister has to now remove the minister responsible. And then investigation must be done. Because that this government announced that they are going to allocate 200 million every year. They were very proud of it. And some of us accepted it willingly. For me, I put 1 million in Mama Bank. And it's still operating. Why in the department? I thought it was in BSP. Immediately it goes to BSP rather than the commerce department handling it. Then politics come in, and now Pekato come in. So I thought this was going straight to BSP. Mine went straight to Mama Bank. My CEO doesn't handle it. I don't handle it. That's the way these things have to be done. Small people have to access these things, not cronies. This is serious stuff. So immediately the fraud squad will go on to it. Go and get the books, the report. The opposition leader has got the report. Some whistleblower has come out. Let's listen, and the institutions of state move now. Don't have to have a politician to announce it, and then you wake up. No, God, we are running a country. Come on.
When you look at your question, and thank you, Puka, he nailed it. The mothers of the village, we've got to really seriously look at their dignity, and when they're organizing themselves heart and soul in preparation for this sort of SME support. Now, if you're allocating 200 million from the national budget per annum, 96 districts, simple math, each district should receive 2 million kina. And then the mothers access it right there. Right there. And that hasn't been happening. It hasn't been happening. It hasn't been happening. It hasn't been happening. And then there you go. That's where all the money's just evaporated. And what a shame, and what an absolute indictment on the government. So Puka is absolutely right. This is a country, and we expect the Prime Minister to take it serious, sack the minister, sack the secretary, and allow for an independent investigation into the criminality of these allegations. Because if districts have not received any SME funding, and we should have received 2 million minimum per annum, so now we should have been proud recipients of 10 million each since 2022, 2023, till now. And that hasn't happened. So all the time when we have the Prime Minister defend budget execution by just focusing on DSIP and PSIP, he's only talking about 5% of the total budget. So what about the 95%? There you go. What about the 95%? Ministers are just there thinking that this is their private slush fund, that this money belongs to their cronies, that this money is for political patronage. This money belongs to the people of Papua New Guinea. So when are we going to wake up? So this has to be handled with severity and swiftly. This is what we call on the Prime Minister. No excuses. Any other questions?
Just one from me. You both mentioned that the Council has come out to talk about the 1 billion kina that's evaporated into thin air. Apart from just calling on the Auditor General, will the opposition also be lodging a complaint with the ICAP?
Well, that's a good question. I've already written a letter with all these people copied into it. The Prime Minister, Deputy Prime Minister, Ombudsman, Police Minister. So we'll expect their response by next week, and definitely we'll have to escalate. That's why we're here. It's the opposition. We're not here to make friends. So yeah, we'll escalate next week. But we expect the Prime Minister to be decisive and take action, because this is corruption. So a very good question. Any other questions?
In relation to the prosecution, last 2 weeks ago, John Kappa the commission and he worked out that the reports came out that he was free. So what's your confidence on the OC and the public prosecutor?
So did you have any comment?
In terms of the jobs?
Well, I mean, I'm a believer in our three arms of government, and they also are a believer in the independence. The legislature, which is the parliament, the executive, and the judiciary. And whatever is processed through the ombudsman, there is a clear line of process. And in this case, with the Honorable John Kappa, the referral came to the public prosecutor to make the final decision whether to advise the Chief Justice to establish a tribunal. And then she came out saying that John Kappa is now cleared. That's the legal process, and I respect that. I'm not someone who says the public prosecutor is wrong. Those are the processes that the whole country must accept, and us leaders must accept. And so I don't question the decision unless another authority, for example, the ombudsman, using the law to say, no, I think the public prosecutor erred, and so in the case of the Chief Justice, he referred it to the NEC, the appointing authority. All those legal processes must be allowed to be fully explored. Or, for example, if there is an individual who is not satisfied, they can also lodge another complaint to the ombudsman, so, or the police. So we got these institutions which we have established, and so we must respect them. And politics must never infiltrate these important constitutional offices. They must allow the independence to go through. Because, justice is very important for everybody. We want justice to be maintained, and the authority is the judiciary to maintain them. Legislature makes the laws. The executive government runs the government through programs, runs the country.
Any other questions? That's it. Well, thank you very much, ladies and